This thing feels like the Facebook origin story of rowing machines. Like somebody looked at real crew rowing, shrunk it down, made it cheaper, made it weirder, and somehow still ended up with something that actually works. And that's exactly why we chose it, because every other MERACH rower review seems to ask the same question. Is it a cheaper Concept2 alternative? We didn't want to make that video. We wanted the weird one. And the strange part about it is once we actually used it, this little thing wasn't just different, it was fun, and it actually gave us a workout. MERACH offered us a rower to review. The obvious video would have been another Concept2 comparison. But that video already exists a lot. So we picked the one nobody seems to be talking about. The weird little double skull one with the independent arms. We figured we'd have fun with it. Maybe we'd get to roast it a little bit, but that's not what happened. This is the MERACH NovaRow RS3, $350, 16 levels of magnetic resistance. Each arm pulls independently on a 120-degree range of motion instead of a single strap and handle. It's small, it's compact, and it looks nothing like a normal rower. First thing you notice is how small this is. Standing next to a rack, next to a bench, honestly, it looks like a toy.
Yeah, it kind of looks like something you'd find, I don't know, maybe in the clearance section.
And that's part of the story, because what it looks like and what it does, they're two completely different things. But the size wasn't the weird part. The weird part was that what happened when you actually started rowing. I use this as a finisher. 10 minutes after my workouts, a couple days a week, at the highest resistance, my arms are sore by the end. And that's not what I expected from something this small and this cheap. The independent arms feel different from a normal rower. You're not just pulling a handle, you're actually sculling. Each arm is working on its own, and you feel it in your lats, your shoulders, your core in a way a standard rower just doesn't hit. I did try single arm pulls and alternating rows because the arms are independent, and technically you can, but it throws your rhythm off. It's not a feature I'd use regularly. The real value is in the standard dual arm scull motion. And that's honestly where this thing really shines.
So I actually prefer the skull handles to a traditional rower. I just felt like they do more. But I did hit a wall with the stride length. At 5'5", I was capping out at the front, and it just felt like I wasn't getting my full range of motion every time. You do have to find your sweet spot on the seat. It does take a few sessions to figure it out, but once I learned how to compensate for that, it stopped being an issue for me. But if you're shorter, it's something you should know. Now, the workout surprised me. I got more out of this than I expected. If you're used to using a rower, you'll pick up the form quickly. If you haven't, I would say the app could do a better job at teaching the actual skull-specific movement. I had to look up other videos just to make sure I was using the handles correctly, because the coaching programs that they provide treat it more like a traditional rower. So we did connect to the app, which did add a whole other layer.
All right, we're gonna try something different. I'm gonna do the mid-roll CTA, prove that I'm better at this. If you're finding this useful, a subscribe helps us keep testing equipment like this instead of just reading spec sheets. That's it. Back to the rower. The app connects over Bluetooth. There's no subscription, which at $350 is the right call. They do have coached programs, and the fact that they tried at this price point is pretty darn admirable.
But the programs themselves are just okay. I had them stop mid-workout more than once. But the coaching sessions they use a different machine. So the tension recommendations, they just don't translate cleanly to this unit.
And adjusting the resistance mid-workout means you almost have to stop rowing to reach down and change it. It's not really a seamless operation.
Now, the app also doesn't have the skull-specific programming. The coaching treats it like a standard rower, which is kind of a miss on their part. I actually looked up other videos, as I mentioned, to make sure I was using the handles correctly.
Our honest recommendation, put your iPad on the console, watch a show. The thing rows well enough that you don't need someone coaching you through it. No subscription, no guilt. Let's be honest about the build. It's overly plastic. You look at it and parts of it scream budget. It looks cheap, and that's partly why we chose it. But once you get on it and start rowing, all that honestly goes away. It just performs. The dual arm sculling makes it feel more connected to the movement, almost like you're in a rowboat. And at that point, you stop thinking about the plastic. There's a basic battery-powered monitor built in. It tracks time, distance, calories, stroke count, speed. Honestly, other than how long I've been going, I don't pay attention to the rest. If you want the smart features, the coach programs, the Bluetooth connection, that's all through your phone or tablet. There's no built-in screen for that. I get it. It's a bummer for some people, but at $350, you're not getting a screen you'd actually want to look at for $350. Prop your iPad up, move on. It's quiet. You could use this while watching TV in an apartment next to someone sleeping. It's not silent, but it's not going to be the reason your neighbor starts banging on your ceiling or your floor telling you to be quiet. So this is where the real story is. It stands up against the wall. No kickstand, no propping it against something and hoping it stays there.
And because it's there, upright, out of the way, you don't stare at it every day wondering if you made a mistake buying it.
Taking it from standing to rowing takes a few extra steps. Not a lot of time, easy setup, easy teardown, and it definitely doesn't outweigh the benefit of having it disappear when you're done.
If MERACH changes one thing about this rower, it should be the foot straps. The stock straps are just too wide and too sticky, and honestly, are just kind of a pain to use.
So we bought $10 replacement straps off Amazon with a cinch buckle, like what you find on a backpack. Add a screw to the bottom of the foot to hold them in place. Problem is solved.
Easier to get in, easier to get out, and easier to stay put.
On a $350 rower, our biggest gripe is a strap. That should honestly tell you something. Here's the thing about rowers. Most of them don't fail because the workout is bad. They fail because you get sick of walking around them. A cheap full-size rower is $600. A Concept2 is over $1,000. A smart rower is $2,000 to $3,000. And all of them take up permanent real estate in your home for something the majority of people end up using once or twice a week.
This is $350. It hides when you're done. You pull it out, you use it, you put it away, and there's no daily visual regret that you bought it.
The investment matches the way most people actually use a rower. This is for the person who wants rowing as part of their routine, not the center of it. Someone in a small space, someone who's honest about the fact that they're rowing once or twice a week, not 5 days.
This is not for someone training for competitive rowing, however. Not for someone who needs precise performance data either. And if you've never owned or you've never rowed before, know that the scull handles have a small learning curve, and the app isn't going to teach you that specific movement. Having some rower experience ahead of time does help.
We brought this in expecting to not like it. We chose the weird one because we thought it would make a fun video. Maybe we'd roast it. Maybe we'd laugh at how gimmicky it was.
And that's actually not what happened.
The verdict? The niche picked punches above its weight. At $350, with this footprint, with this storage, and with a workout that's genuinely better than it has any right to be, this is a smart buy for the right person.
And the one thing that surprised us most wasn't that actually it worked, it was realizing why it works. It's not trying to be the Concept2, and it's not trying to be a smart rower either.
No, it's a $350 rower that matches the way most people actually use one. And that's the thing nobody else in this space is saying. So, would we keep it in a swole sofa?
Well, it's already there.
You just can't see it. If you've made it this far, you're probably the exact person this rower was made for. Links in the description. If you want to see what else we've been testing in a swell sofa, subscribe. We're going to see you in the next one.